Hey, you can now see Russia without going through heavy bureaucratic process or paying for a visa. Interested? Continue watching. This is going to be an informative and educational video, so I need glasses. Do I look more presentable and trustworthy now? Anyone? But this is the only pair I have. Okay, I guess I'll have to manage without. Hello Internet, this is Irina, the Siberian who's gone international. Throughout my life in Europe, the majority of people I've met have never been to Russia. Probably it's partially due to politics or the fear that it's unsafe, but I know for sure that the third huge obstacle was a super heavy visa application process. Those who went through it have shared their pain with me and told me that it was super complicated, time-consuming and also not cheap. But ta-da! This autumn, Russia has finally done something which should have been done a very long time ago and introduced e-visas. And what's important? Free e-visas. In order to get it, you do not have to pay, you do not need any invitations, hotel booking confirmations or any other documents which confirm the purpose of your trip. And it allows you to travel to St. Petersburg and Kaliningrad. Kaliningrad is this tiny part of Russia, which is located in Europe and detached from the rest of the country. Actually, I've never been there myself, so maybe it's time to check it out. With this free e-visa, you can stay in these two regions for up to 8 days, and the rule is pretty simple. Basically, if you enter the country on Monday, you should leave it no later than the Monday of the next week. On this website, I will leave the link in the description, you can even find the calculator which will help you figure out for how long you can stay. This website also explains the rest of the rules and details, and that's where you can apply for your free e-visa. This e-visa is valid for 30 days, but you should apply no later than 4 days before your arrival and not earlier than 20 days before the date when you're planning to enter the country. And it all sounds great, but unfortunately not everything is that rosy. First of all, even though the citizens of a lot of countries are eligible for this e-visa, for some reason the citizens of the US, Canada, New Zealand, Australia and the UK are not. I'm not sure why exactly it's that. Maybe it's because it's also difficult for Russians to get visas to those countries. Trust me, when you say that this visa application process is complicated, it's even more complicated the other way around. For example, once one of my friends wanted to visit me in the UK, but for some reason her visa application got declined, even though she had a permanent residence permit in Finland. But anyway, whatever the reason is, I personally do not support it. I don't understand why would you create these obstacles which do more harm than good. Free travel boosts the economy, helps people to understand each other better, reduces prejudice, etc, etc. So I don't know why would you create these artificial obstacles, and I hope that will change soon. But for now, pretty much everyone from the EU can apply for this e-visa. Also, I've seen a lot of Asian countries on the list and quite a few of the Middle Eastern countries. Also, if you're from Latin America, there is a really huge probability that you do not need a visa to go to Russia at all. Another bad news for Finns is that for some reason you cannot cross the border by train. Which sucks, because Allegro trains are the fastest and the most convenient way to travel from Helsinki to St. Petersburg. It lasts only 3.5 hours, it's comfortable. You get from the city center to the city center before you even notice. I heard it's because they just simply need to upgrade their equipment. So I hope that soon it will be possible to travel to St. Petersburg also by train, but for now there are other options. You can cross the border by plane, by car or by a bus. I think if you want to travel from Helsinki to St. Petersburg, the option which has the best price-value ratio is Lux Express buses. Lux Express, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, because apparently their name comes from the word luxury, but I'm pretty sure that they call them Lux Expresses. Anyway, the price depends on how well in advance you buy your ticket and how popular the day is, but in general it's pretty easy to have a ticket for less than 20 euros one way. And if you're planning to travel often, you can also get their PINS membership card, which will help you to save a few euros on every trip. There is another option available, these mini buses which run between Helsinki and St. Petersburg, but you don't want to go there. I used to travel with them quite often before I found out about Lux Express, and it's a branch of hell on earth. Once I had a ride in the winter without a heater. Once we got stuck at the border for 5 hours, and I think some of the people missed their plane. So yeah, you would save a few euros, but it's really not worth it. You should either go with your own car or with Lux Express buses. Their buses are fine, actually pretty nice, but a few years ago they used to be way better. They used to live up to the name Lux Express, they looked more luxurious. I'm not sure what happened, but now the interior looks much cheaper, so I don't know, Lux Express, this is an official complaint, what happened? And the prices actually increased since then. But you still get free water, coffee, tea, you can watch movies while you travel because every seat is equipped with this small screen. And the trip normally lasts 6 to 7 hours. 6-7 hours sounds like a really long trip, but I have a super skill. I can sleep on planes and buses, so that is not a big issue for me. The only annoying part is that you have to get off the bus twice to pass the border control. And this is something which doesn't happen on a train, because on a train they come to your seat to check your passport. Also, I've noticed that the border officers on the train are significantly friendlier than the ones who check bus passengers. I don't know why, but especially at the Russian border, you're really lucky if that woman who checks your passport says hello to you. The last tip I would give you, try going in the summer. I mean, yeah, the museums and restaurants of St. Petersburg, you can visit them any time of the year. But St. Petersburg is a nice city to explore by foot, and also the famous opening of the bridges happens only on summer nights. So if you think that it's going to be your one and only trip, go in the summer. You just will get a better experience. Next time I'm gonna go to St. Petersburg, I'm planning to film this survival guide for an English speaker in Russia. So if you're interested, stay tuned, and I promise to release it by the end of the winter. Please click the like button if you found this information useful, subscribe to this channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!